Now, taking a rundown through the episode 3 quests in the British Season Pass, and a fairly few weird ones here, and a lot which can be probably knocked out in one or two races, and some pretty short grind races as well. Also today was the patch for the frame rate fix. I haven't actually went into a race just yet, but hopefully that's restored the game back to some bit of a playable state. Might have been nice to have some bit of a apology message for that, but instead we got the weird second year anniversary rewards for that today, and no mention of any kind of a compensation for the fact that the last 3 weeks the game has been unplayable. So, oh well, I'm sure all those players will come rushing right back, right? But yeah, I'll go down through the quests as always, and I'll leave timestamps in this one just as to where these quests are getting done. But quite a lot of these are just single race type things, because there's no grind portion of this. But top one here: perform 9 barrel rolls in a single race, ancient ruins and in an Aston Martin DB11. So it can be done in any mode for that. Perform 1 vertical knockdown, so landing down on top of a player, possibly even do that whilst doing the 9 barrel rolls in the DB11. Destroy 15 or fewer objects in the single Royale's Finest event race. And like, that is strange, but it does just mean going and avoiding anything, because that's a pretty long track. And just, avoiding any obstacles and enemies just for one race, playing it super safe. 50 knockdowns in hunted events through career. That's relatively easy. The AI in there go crazy trying to get at you. 10 items in the Legend Store. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's 10 items. 4 import parts. That also includes epic import parts applied to cars. So handy enough with that. It's just a case of anything that's not a regular upgrade to a car. 35 seconds of nitro time then in a single race, just with a 2-star for hire car, and 5 shockwaves in a single race in either a B or a C class car. Definitely 2 that can be done together. And then you have perform 2 or fewer barrels in a single race on Osaka. That is just a case of like, pick any Osaka track and touch drive should be able to get that, because touch drive is not going to go for barrel rolls, and it's just one race to be done once for 119 Legend Pass points. And then the grind stuff at the end. And while it doesn't seem like a lot, because it's obviously just 1 race, 3 races, and 5, the Scotland race that you get in multiplayer has to be a win. So you're definitely going to have to, when you get Scotland, you're going to have to focus on a win. It's top 3 in Osaka at least 3 times, so that's not too bad. And then you just have to see the Caribbean 5 times in multiplayer, and not have the game crash before you get to the finish line. So, try and couple a few of these together then at the start. And 5 shockwaves in a single race, Class B or C. 35 seconds of nitro time in a 2-star car. Destroy 15 or fewer objects in a single race in Royale's Finest events. And then perform 1 vertical knockdown in a single race. So, hopefully, you can try that Royale's Finest, get the shockwaves, the nitro time, and see if we can land on somebody as a part of that race. Going to use the Aston Martin Vantage for this, but shopping spree, definitely a course here that's going to be difficult to avoid 15 items on in a stage, because there is kind of stuff all over the track, and there are certain parts of this track where you effectively just cannot avoid hitting many items at least. So gonna go and try and smash less than 15. That is a strange request. I do kind of like these challenges instead of just farming out a certain number of things, but Aston Martin Vantage as well as a B-class car, so it's going to count towards the shockwaves and nitro time. But it's definitely just the main issue here is going to be trying to avoid any unnecessary items. I'm not too nuts about winning this, so what I'm actually going to do is just fall back a small bit here and let the AI smash through this wall for me and see if I can just escape through in an area where they're after destroying them, and save myself a few destroyed items that way. At least I'll hang close enough so that I can see the destruction caused, and I'm gonna take the lower route here because don't want to go on the upper portion of this track, because there's a load of beams that actually cover one of the pathways up top. So I'm just gonna hang on the right hand side in a nitro state again, just being nice and low to the ground, but just hanging in behind the AI so that they can actually take out the items for me. Keep in mind that the AI here are relatively low. They're actually low rated cars, so you just have to be kind of careful not to zoom out in front of them. But it's a long enough track, so just hanging back, not doing it. Like, yeah, I absolutely do not care about winning the race. Get to 35 seconds of nitro time, staying out onto the middle of the road here for all this. Because, yeah, there's just like bits and pieces of barrier and stuff all on the left hand side. And again here, hanging back a small bit just to let the AI smash the walls. And here he is. I'll just see, can I follow them through? Yeah, without having to break objects. They can be my guinea pigs. See if I can spam out a few shockwaves with this. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a win, like I said, just nice and easy, cross the line. Hopefully that should be 35 seconds of nitro, but there's definitely less than 15 objects destroyed there. Cool little challenge though. Yeah, 197 things, tier 28 unlocked. Farm 35 seconds of nitro time in a single race, nailed that. And yeah, the 5 shockwaves in a single race. Definitely interesting challenge though, having to avoid it. But yeah, just recommend using the AI to avoid getting that one ruined for yourself. The Osaka race of 2 or fewer barrel rolls, and actually just handy place for doing that right now. But obviously you can just touch drive that in anything. This Grand Prix that's on at the moment is currently running in Osaka track for myself. And yeah, this is a Grand Prix that I really, just when I looked at the final rewards for this, I couldn't even bother to doing a time on round 2. It's just like, there really isn't anything. Well, there is if you need Senna blueprints or things like McLaren P1 as the other blueprint for this. There's a 570S. But yeah, like this is a very strange one, especially when the game's performance was so poor in the last couple of weeks. Genuinely been very difficult to want to play this, and yeah, I just skipped out on some of the stages because it's just little interest. But yeah, what I'm going to do for this is just a practice run of it and just, yeah, keep the car as flat as possible, but not going for really crazy times here. This is more so just focusing on not doing barrel rolls, which is incredibly easy. It's just avoid ramps, stay in the middle of the track, and yeah, there's not much else to say other than just, yeah, blip to the achievementy part, because you could even just do this by selecting practice and saying touch drive and leave the car go. Kind of crazy the fact that the race time with that requires a race time 1:31. But I mean, like, that race is doable in 1:10, yeah, or 1:11, and that was with being very, very careful to avoid the barrel rolls or just playing this completely safe. What the heck is the timing for that? But that should be a 2 or fewer barrel rolls in a single race. Yeah, definitely. Weird. Who decided that should take 1:31? Now, so I'll take care of 2 of the menu ones here, and yeah, buy items in the Legend store. I've gotten a few of those over the last day, and apply import parts for needed for that. And yeah, that one does work with import parts and epic import parts. And I've got some pretty cool ones of those to install as well in various cars. Now, last piece I can buy here, it's going to be the Lycan Hypersports, one of the epics for that. There for 15k, great little car, and yeah, it's coming up towards the time in the Legend Pass where I'm going to be stocking back up on trade coins, but I have no real issues with getting myself another Lycan epic, because that's a really nice car. 6 Vantage blueprints, amazing for anyone who doesn't have that car maxed out, but unfortunately for me, that's going to be Trade Coin City. Now, in terms of where to put those actual epics, I'm looking here. Trying Nemesis. Finally. It took so long, but yeah, we had everyone in club getting epics for this at a point last week, I believe it was. I picked up the last ones for these, and yeah, boom, quest complete for the apply epics for a day. But yeah, also very nice at last. Trying Nemesis at gold. Absolutely devastatingly powerful car for, yeah, the S-Class. For a free car especially, that thing is one that every player should be trying to get. Yeah, more and more blueprints for that. The epics took a year and a half to grind out, but golden. Slightly less powerful is the Exotic Motors W70, which, yeah, there's the final epic goes into that as well. So another golden car, maybe not as amazing as the Nemesis, but still another nice shiny gold on the garage lineup. I may as well apply that Lycan epic as well. Where to put it? Car is really powerful with the top speed. Handling is woeful, but it won't get any better with a single epic. I may as well throw it into the Nitro for that. So max out his Nitro ability. Still a ways off golden, but I just wanted to get the Lycan over 4,000 rating, which pretty nice place for that car to be at. Great car for a free one as well that's available. A lot easier than the Tri Nemesis, but yeah, definitely something that players should be aiming for. Out of the first 4 cars in the game, so like the first 4 of those appear in those S-Class packs, definitely like an Hypersport every day of the week you should be going for out of those 4, in my opinion at least. And my last one here, I'm just going to try and one of these from the Riot from the Aston Martin Vulcan, and boom, there we go, 4 import parts done. So all epic imports, 2 new golden cars, and I get my daily quest complete. Really, that was a fairly odd Riot. To be honest, the Titanium Riot and the Aston Martin Riot, it sucks so much having them with that frame rate being so low. And there was a hotfix that was applied. That hotfix did nothing for my game. And looking at both Facebook and Discord and people putting like the software closed, yeah, it's been a full day now and it's just as rubbish as it was. A multiplayer as well as just worthless still. Absolutely borderline unplayable. Now, to perform 9 barrel rolls in a single run of Ancient Ruins, Aston Martin DB11. One of the earliest places you can get to that with a B class is in Chapter 2. So, Class B, Novice, very first race, Ancient Ruins. And yeah, DB11 available for use. 9 barrel rolls on a, relatively not too long track. It just involves going and seeking out all the barrel roll ramps pretty much and making sure to kind of hit them a bit on the high side. Again, for these quests, does not require you to win the race. Just focus on hitting every barrel roll you can, and not exactly ideal with that frame rate the way it is at the moment. Ooh, nice. I think it's at the F1LM in the mix in this. Oh yeah, say first barrel rolls are going to be up here on the far right hand side. Just grind the rails up to it. And I'm just going to actually fall down onto the lower stage just so I can get in that 4th roll. Like absolutely farm everything I could out of that. For this one you really need to be careful with the wall not to grind up against it, but I can squeeze one out there as the AI comes down on me. Straight up here, another 1, 2. Yeah, it should be putting me in line handily enough, because there's like 2 more at least before the finish line. One on the outside of this pathway, and again just careful not to scrape the barrier on the way up through that. Head straight for the middle watery area, watching the rocks, and watching that frame rate when the rain comes down. If you actually go out and around the long way here as well, staying up top, you can hit another barrel roll on the very outside just if you've been unsuccessful with the rest coming through, and another 2 off that. Easy enough once you kind of know where they are on the track, but just a case of find that track, grab your DB11, and even if it's a low tuned version of the car, you can just ignore that warning at the start that says like, oh, are you sure you want to race this, because it's obviously a very low tier B class car. Just get the 9 out of it and get your tier 31 unlocked. It's pretty cool. Now for the 50 knockdowns in Hunted, this is just going to take a bit of grinding, and like it doesn't have to be other racers, it can be those cop cars as well that are in them. So all you need for that is one of the things like the escape maps. This one's available in Chapter 1. The only thing is the cars on these tracks are obviously not exactly the most powerful, so I would advise with this, just try and go for whatever kind of later on things where you can use something like the Viper ACR, something with really kind of like high acceleration, even the Lotus Elise, just anything that's not like slow and going to get bogged down, and then just absolutely like farm out as many of the cop cars as you can, because you can do it here in chapter 1s, and like it does have to be just a map that has hunted underneath where it says Scotland, and they can do it. Now it's not exactly the most enjoyable thing. It is just a case of going there 360 every single cop that comes near you. Now for me, I'm going to go with a British season here at the end of chapter 2 in the career, and the very first track of that, like I said, it's a long enough one. So the Freedom Route, Scotland, hunted, and this one allows you to use like Lotus Elise Sprint. Great little car for just kind of quickly getting accelerated up to the speed where you'll be able to knock down copy eye, and just the fact that you can generate nitro with that car and stay in a nitro state all the time. So anytime you come into contact with a cop there, they'll crumple almost immediately. It'll be far easier than those earlier stages where you're locked into stuff like the DB11 or the F-Type Jaguar, because like with those you just won't be able to build up speed. So British season first race, that's where I'm going to grind these ones out. It's going to take a couple of races, but it is just pick the car, go in the thing, cause trouble with cops, grind up all the cops into dust. Now, and I think that should be 50 down, and whoa, that performance is horrendously bad. Using the McLaren Senna is available in that as well, so definitely, nice extra fuel unit, tier 32. The first one there in the British season, tons and tons of knockdown opportunities for it. Now, and the last two is just grind out stuff in multiplayer, reaching top 3. I've already got the win in Scotland, and it is just 5 appearances of the Caribbean, and you can't select a track, so these kind of suck a small bit. The win in Scotland, I mean, it depends on your garage layout, but realistically, like winning a multiplayer race, it's fine if you've got decent cars or some good luck, but you're relying on getting the track of Scotland and then winning the race. So obviously, every time Scotland shows up, that's 1 in 8 chance of getting it. I understand that some players are going to find that pretty sucky. Osaka as well at the moment, the performance, and that's woeful. So, and it's one of the ones that triggers crashes more so than any other track. So these suck. But I gotta knock those ones out in multiplayer, and then we'll have a blast through the rewards. Should unlock the Bentley as well from this week, I'm pretty sure anyway. And that should be the final Caribbean race, and oh my god, that while that seemed like a good idea at first, not having a like specific grind, trying to get those 5 Caribbean races is a nightmare. And Osaka's frame rate so bad, you need a top 3 finish. Torturous. And not just to mention that, but the game crashes are back like really, really strong now. So it's just absolutely horrific. So like Osaka is always one that in multiplayer especially loves to crash, and now you need to get it 3 times, have the game not crash, and then actually finish in the top 3. But I don't know. I think I prefer the old type of like grind. Oof. That's kind of bad when something can be actually worse than the way it was. That's the way asphalt is a lot of the time, I guess. But that for me is, 100% of those complete. And not too bad missions for the most part, but just a case of, that grind, really, really a bit of a pain. Just the fact that having to get 1 win in Scotland, it's kind of down to your garage. 3 in Osaka was very bad for me, because I had like one of those races just crash out, and another one the frame rate was so bad that it was one where I just absolutely stuck behind people, lagging all over the place, not able to do anything, and just race over, lose. So needed to get that place 5 times as well technically, and then getting the Caribbean 5 times was again just what I started doing, honestly. Click on a race, as soon as it shows you that thing in the top left hand corner that says where you are, just home screen, close software, reopen the software, and go back into a multiplayer race. It'll cost you a lot of rank, but right now it doesn't really matter too much for the most part anyway, of like dropping down some rating at the start. But it was a faster way for me to get Caribbean, because I was just sick of racing in multiplayer for just finishing races for the sake of it, especially if you're getting long things like some of the Rome circuits, especially. They can take upwards of 2 minutes, including all the loading time. It takes less time and effort to just close out of the game and restart multiplayer. And to reap the rewards though, and this should be the Bentley getting unlocked, I'm pretty sure. So you get 1 blueprint there. And keeping in mind that this is the bundle pass rewards as well as the place where I am at right now. but let's see what we get. So some P1 stuff, 5 for the Bentley that way. Customizational pieces. Maybe I may have just misjudged it. Oh, the Vantage, yeah. Like I said, that would have been really awesome if you didn't already have that maxed out. Like I have extra gas, awesome. McLaren P1, and there's the Bentley unlocked. Yeah, 1 extra gas though. It's oddly stretched out in this season. The fact that they've put like some of the cool rewards, like the trade coins and stuff like that, kind of spread out further across it, which is kind of good in ways. So you're not just waiting for one specific like point to get to for it to be useful. But yeah, it kind of increases in power throughout the season. New rims for the 718, and like yeah, that Aston Martin Advantage is a great car. It's just like I said, I have it maxed out golded now for a little bit, and there's enough blueprints just to unlock that Bentley. But yeah, pretty weird looking cool car, but definitely just one to be useful obviously in the special events throughout this Legend Pass. It's the same as all of them now. It's like the Legend Pass car is pretty much a requirement for being able to play through those special events without kind of paying your way through, which kind of means that it's cheaper in ways to play through special events by paying upfront the €10 for the Legend Pass, because then you get the car that's required without having to pay further into the actual passes. But there we go, and unlock the Bentley added to the garage. Weird looking, fancy, but definitely yeah, and just another one of those kind of ones that I'm not going to bring this to 5 stars realistically, but it's cool to have these kind of Legend Passes cars available in the garage. And looking at the tiers ahead, then you've got kind of just some card packs, import parts, card packs, and then like next week you'll be getting that. Yeah, it's the second 25% added onto the reputation boost to bring that up, and fairly nice amount of tokens there as well to be had from next week's stuff, but I'm not going to buy any of these tiers. But yeah, that's the end of all the quests from episode 3 in this, and those grind things were really like what appears like not too bad because it's only 9 races or so. Yeah, that turns really bad quick, especially with the 3 races in Osaka, like that course crashing so much, and yeah, needing to win in Scotland, not exactly ideal, especially when you can't select the race you want to play. But yeah, that's kind of the way these things are. In terms of the performance for that hotfix, by the way, I just want to go into one thing with this. You may have seen this or may not, but inside in game settings right now under sound and display, so pressing start to get back to the main menu, or plus on the Nintendo Switch controller, little cog in the top right hand corner. Go up to that, middle tab, game settings, sound and display, and yeah, on the left hand side there, it's disabled by default, but it's a 60 FPS enabling part. And realistically, even with that clicked, the game still doesn't run properly in certain stages. Like, it's still, the idea is basically that would take off that 30 FPS cap that's been locked onto the game right now. But even with the 60 FPS enabled, it's still not reaching anywhere near that in actual gameplay. Like, if you enable 60 FPS and do the weekly competition at the end of the Caribbean stage, for example, yeah, you'll see it absolutely just still destroy the frame rate. And in multiplayer, it just does not work properly at all. So the hotfix may have brought in this little tab to click onto. But yeah, if anyone points this out to you and goes, that's what you need to do to get your frame rate fixed, no, it's really not. There's still something drastically wrong with this game and the underlying things, the way that the game is handling stuff. You can see it in Osaka as well. When the game is loading up at the start, just there's glitches all over the actual screen. So like here's a capture from the start of the Class C Elite run, and you can see the pop-in absolutely going crazy with the textures on the underside of that bridge. Just way too long a delay there with the textures coming in. Just crazy looking. And also, like, yeah, you can see this kind of flickering stuff going on the start and in screen on a lot of the races, and even at 60 FPS, if anything, it makes it far worse because, yeah, you just see it constantly shuddering. Now, that's captured from one of the in-game captures, so that's why it's like it is running at a lower frame rate there. But yeah, like if you've seen those kind of distortions around the game, don't again bother to like download and re-download and clear the cache and stuff like that for your game right now. That's just a game side error, and it's happening on most people's things. So if you've not been keeping up to date with Discord updates, then although the Discord update at the moment says that hotfix fixed everything, no, realistically still runs like absolute S-word. But yeah, that kind of sucks because the Aston Martin Valhalla concept car special event has started off. Admittedly, the times for this are more based on having the cars like the DB11 and stuff at the very start of this, at least. As it pushes on, it's going to suck having that if the game still isn't running properly. And the Grand Prix is finishing enough for that Lego Senna, which again isn't for anything in particular. So it doesn't matter too much, but it's now 3 weeks into the season pass, and yeah, game is kind of unplayable. So people will be really questioning the value of a season pass in a game that's not functioning properly, and genuinely, like, the game crashes are just way too frequent to make this enjoyable, and the frame rate of multiplayer just it sucks. But as always, guys, this one took a bit to upload because I'm trying to get those multiplayer stages together and a few other bits and pieces. But yeah, as always, there's a sub button up there over my head, other videos for me here, and as always, drive safe.